it's the Mad Queen. Welcome into the Queen's Lair. Let's talk about Awaken Chaosera 2023. I am going to be backtracking a bit because I have been playing since 2021 when the game was in soft launch. So I'm going to talk a bit about some of the transitions the game has made overall. And I do want you to know before we really get into this, I do enjoy the game tremendously. I wouldn't have invested so much time, energy, resources, money into this if I didn't really enjoy playing it. I will also add that I am a content creator officially for the game, so I do work with them hand in hand for the most part. I think that's important to mention whenever I am giving my honest opinion, and I am going to give you my honest opinion regardless. Initially, when the game came out in soft launch and even in beta, it was supposed to be the Raid Shadow Legends Crusher, if you didn't know that. I'm not just saying that, it was a thing. Of course, you don't really hear a lot of people talk about it anymore because that didn't quite happen. But they wanted to make, ideally, a game that was extremely free-to-play friendly. That is what they aimed for. They were trying to make a Raid Shadow Legends 2.0 basically, but make it a better version. Anyways, they wanted to give a lot of options that Raid Shadow Legends didn't, because if you don't know, if you haven't played Raid Shadow Legends, that game can really dig into your wallet. I did play that for a couple of years before I played Awaken Chaosera, so I am pretty familiar with how it works. We were really excited about this game and the intentions behind it. For a while at the beginning, I think that they were able to bring in quite a few people because of how they were advertising to be free-to-play friendly, where all are welcome, and honestly, I don't think it's a big deal personally for people to spend money in games. I have spent around $4,000 in the game as of now, which I think is also very important to share with you guys. And I think that it's okay to have aspects where you can pay and spend money to get things. There's nothing wrong with that in my opinion, but there shouldn't be a huge gap between free-to-play, low spenders, and really just being able to whale out. I think in games like this, you should be paying for time. What you pay for should help you progress faster and get places faster, and not necessarily get you a lot of stuff that the average player couldn't get, if that makes sense. Which is not the case in this game. If you plan to be competitive in PvP, the chances of you being able to do that as a free-to-play player are possible. But you would probably have to play very, very dedicated for 2 years or so before you could be competitive in the arena. I wish that wasn't the case, but it is what it is. Now, the game has just recently came out with an update. There is a mystery shop. Let me see if I have the mystery shop available. No, I had it yesterday, I think. So the mystery shop allows you to make special purchases. It's just a way for you to spend more money. Most of the deals in there, 9 out of 10, are not worth it. So I know I haven't done a review on that specifically yet, and I need to. If you're watching this and you're wondering about that, I would highly recommend not spending a dime in the mystery shop. And also, in the latest patch, they recently added under the Hero Essence shop the Book of Legendary Masters. Okay, you can get 10 of these a week. Mind you, you can only get these from getting duplicate legendary heroes and banishing them. All right. And even then, the amount you get is absurd. I think it's something like 2 of the special essence. Let me go back. Here, you get 2 of these per banishment of a legendary hero. So if you do the math there, and it takes 10, that is 5 dupes. That is 5 legendary dupes you would have to get to be able to buy one of these. I can personally tell you, I have gotten some dupes on my account, but overall, the amount is very minimal. Honestly, very minimal. I think I've maybe gotten 2 or 3 dupes ever on my account, and I've spent $4,000. Okay, so keep that in mind. What they have done now really makes me wonder and question if I am still investing time, energy, money into a game that's going to be around for another year or 2. I don't know. A lot of the player base that's in the game are players that have been here for quite some time. I will say, because of the Attack on Titans event that happened over the new year, at the beginning of the new year, beginning of last year, or the beginning of the new year, yes. It did bring in quite a few new players to the game, which was really nice. I've talked with the staff, and they have assured me that they do not plan, honestly, there's no other way to take this. They have no plans in making any kind of advertisements to bring in new players like that again. When I ask them about making ads, they don't plan on making any. That's directly what I was told from a member of the staff. Because as a content creator, it is important, and especially for a content creator that hasn't hit that 1,000 subscribers milestone, because that's what I have to have on YouTube on my channel before I can ever make any money, okay? It's important to look ahead and think about, am I investing my time wisely? I do love this game, but I also would like, at some point, to make money from YouTube, at least, for all of the time, energy, and effort I'm putting into just recording and making these videos in general. It does take quite a bit more time than I think a lot of people think it does. And honestly, if you were to ask me, do you think the game is going to be around in 2 years? I think if it is, honestly, it's going to be hanging by a thread if we keep going like this. Not only are they deciding not to advertise the game, they are also doing everything they can to make a huge gap in between free-to-play players or low spenders and people that can spend money in the game. There are just some people that cannot. Some people do choose not to spend money on games because they want to see what they can accomplish without doing that. It's more of a challenge and it makes it more fun for some people. But there are other people that play the game and would like to spend money, but they just can't. They can't afford it. They don't have the money to do that. And realistically, I think that for most people playing the game, that is going to be the case, unfortunately. And I just wish that everything was equally obtainable by everyone, like I was saying, but you could pay to speed up that progression. It's just, honestly, it's extremely infuriating. There are people that have spent, I mean, so much money in this game. If you think $4,000 is a lot, you have no idea. That is not even close to being considered a whale in this game. It's like a little dolphin, okay? I'm just a fish that's splashed into the water, basically. There are people that have spent $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 plus dollars in this game. And it's not just this game. It is in any game like this, okay? So what needs to be done is a way to somewhat close that gap. I have made so many suggestions, and when I tell you that they actually laugh at some of my suggestions, I mean, they do. They really do. They laugh at the suggestions I make because they're not going to make them money. And at this point, it almost feels like what they're doing is trying to make as much money as possible now as they can from the players that they know have been here and been spending money, and just see how far that takes them than anything. And then whenever it's done, it's just done. It has personally made me question if I want to purchase any more of the magic passes or any more of the silver cards or the gold cards. I have bought every single magic pass since it's been offered. Every single one. $10 a month. And I've been playing now for around 16-ish months, 15, 16 months. That's $160 just for the magic pass for the whole year. And then on top of that, I have purchased the silver and gold pass every single month that it's been offered. Those together are like $20 a month. So that's double what it costs for the magic pass. That's a lot of money. And it adds up. I personally think that if they are not going to advertise this game, I will continue to play, but it will be free to play. If it doesn't change soon, which I don't think it will, a lot of promises were made to a lot of content creators before the Attack of Titans event started that have not been met. They reached out to a lot of older content creators that used to make content for the game, promised them a lot of things to come back and make some videos, and they never paid up on it. I know that for a fact because I am pretty good friends, or at least really close acquaintances with a lot of people that either do now currently or used to make content for the game. A lot of those people are not still here because they left. They like to make a lot of promises that they don't keep. So, if you want to play this game, will you have fun? Yes. This game is a lot of fun. It really is. And if you're thinking about downloading it and playing it, give it a shot, by all means. But I personally would not recommend that you spend any money because they're not advertising this game, which means there's really no growth. And if they keep making choices that they know the community is against, which they do know, trust me, they know, then it's just going to push people out. And if it's pushing people out and they're not doing anything to bring people in, this game will eventually die out. And that's just the unfortunate truth behind it. I don't want it to die out because I have spent $4,000 in this game and I've spent so much time in here. So much time. I've made video guides. I have streamed this game for I don't even know how many hours. There was a point in time where I streamed Awaken Chaosera 6 days a week for a minimum of like 8 or 9 hours each stream. And I did that for about 4 or 5 months. So I've spent money and time that I can never get back. It's frustrating because on one hand, I love the game. On the other hand, I don't love what they're doing with the game. So I want you to keep that in mind before you decide to invest anything, including your time, like I've mentioned, into this game. It is fun, but I would not recommend that you spend money. And that's the honest truth. And know that there is a very, very big gap for free-to-play players or even low spenders. Honestly, there's a huge gap between myself and a lot of people. $4,000, that's a lot of money to me. But there's still a huge gap between me and a lot of other people that have been in the game for a long time and have spent a lot of money. A huge gap. I still see and feel that gap personally. So you kind of have to make a choice between, am I just going to play this more in a PvE context, I guess is the only way I know how to explain it, and not necessarily be driven to be totally competitive. So you play to collect whatever heroes you can, to complete dungeons, to do whatever you can in the guild, whatever the case might be, and decide, I'm just not going to play competitively. Because the chances of you being able to play that way and being free to play are very, very, very low. If I have encouraged you to download this game after all of this, I do have a link in the description of the video where you can use my personal code to download the game. It does help support me a ton. I would appreciate that greatly. But also, if you decide not to after hearing this, I totally understand that as well. And honestly, if I hadn't put so much time and money into this, I probably would be very close to walking away from the game at this point. But because of that, it would be a massive waste for me to really totally walk away at this point. And I keep extending an olive branch and an olive branch and an olive branch, hoping that it's going to change. And it hasn't been, so we'll see how long I can stick with it. You get out of it what you put into it. And in this case, if you got a lot of money to put into it, you'll probably get a decent amount out of it. But anyways, also, I do have a Discord community. You're welcome to join that. The link is in the description. It's a great place for beginners to ask for advice or for experienced players to help share some advice from their experiences in the game. Everyone is more than welcome to join. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions as well on this in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.